fills me in the air, it shivers cold and thin.
Echoes of the Forgotten Bride. Episode 15, Whispers in the Brine. We live in an age of voices. Podcasts, broadcasts, streams, everyone talking, everyone sharing, everyone trying to be heard above the noise. But some voices come from places we should never listen to. Some broadcasts should never be received. Some stories demand more than attention. They demand everything. This is the 15th echo. Naomi Cross had built her podcast from nothing, just her voice, her curiosity, her laptop, and an obsession with the forgotten, the overlooked, the stories that slipped through history's cracks. Echoes had started small, a few hundred listeners, stories about abandoned buildings, lost towns, the places progress left behind. Then she'd found her niche, paranormal history, not ghost hunting, not sensationalism, just documentation, interviews, research, the folklore of forgotten places. 3 years later, she had 200,000 subscribers, a Patreon that paid her bills, and a reputation for thorough, respectful investigations that balanced skepticism with genuine curiosity. She was good at what she did, really good, and she knew it. Haven's End was supposed to be a 5-episode series. The Forgotten Bride, the town's founding, the curse, the stories that had accumulated over generations. Naomi had done her research, read the historical documents, prepared her interview questions. She'd rented a cottage for 3 weeks, set up her recording equipment, and started with the locals. The fishermen who wouldn't go to certain waters, the families who left offerings at the shore, the old women who knew the songs you weren't supposed to sing. The first episode went live on a Tuesday, Naomi's voice, clear and professional, laying out the legend, the bride who'd been sacrificed, the curse that followed, the centuries of strange occurrences. She presented it all factually. No judgment, no mockery, just the story as the town told it. The response was immediate, her biggest episode yet. Comments poured in. People loved it, wanted more, wanted the full investigation. And then the tape arrived. It was at her cottage door when she returned from interviewing the harbor master. No postage, no return address, just a small package containing a cassette tape, the old kind, the kind no one used anymore. There was a note, handwritten, elegant script: for your investigation, play me. I have been waiting so long to speak, to be heard, to tell my story properly. No signature. Naomi should have been cautious, should have questioned the source, but she was excited. Someone was engaging with her work, offering primary source material. She found a cassette player at a thrift shop, brought it back to the cottage, set up her recording equipment to digitize whatever was on the tape. Pressed play. Static white noise, the hiss of old magnetic tape. Then underneath something else, a voice, female, clear, contemporary, not aged or distorted, like it had been recorded yesterday. Hello, Naomi, I've listened to your podcast, your first episode about me, about Haven's End. You told my story, but you got so much wrong. Let me correct you. Let me tell you what really happened, what I really am, what I really want. Naomi's skin prickled. This was incredible. Someone doing a found footage style response, a piece of interactive storytelling. The voice continued, I was not sacrificed unwillingly. That is a lie they tell themselves, to make the families feel less guilty, to make the town feel like victims instead of accomplices. I went to the water willingly. I went because I was told it would save them, save the town, bring prosperity, ensure survival. And it did, but the price. Oh, the price was higher than any of them imagined. Naomi was recording, taking notes. This was gold. Performance art, local theater student, whatever it was compelling. I became part of the ocean, part of the deep, part of the hunger that water has for human warmth, human love, human life, and I have waited for over a century for someone to tell my story, really tell it, not the sanitized version, not the legend, but the truth. The voice paused. Naomi heard water, waves, like the recording had been made at the beach. Then the voice returned, softer, more intimate. You will help me, Naomi. You will be my voice, my vessel. You will tell my story. And in return, I will give you everything you want: fame, recognition, the story that makes your career. All I ask is that you listen, really listen, to every word, to every whisper, to every truth. The tape ended, static, then silence. Naomi sat back, her heart was racing. This was brilliant, creepy, perfect for the podcast. She'd play this, build the series around it, maybe investigate who'd made it, turn it into a mystery within a mystery. She edited the audio into her next episode, added it with minimal commentary, let it speak for itself, posted it. The response was explosive. Her subscribers do. Bled overnight, people were captivated. Who made the tape? Was it real? Was it part of the investigation? Naomi played coy. Said she was investigating, that she'd share what she learned. And then the second tape arrived. Same as before, no postage, at her door, another cassette, another note. You played my first truth, thank you, here is the second, listen closely. Your sound engineer will appreciate the technique. Naomi's sound engineer was Ben Carter, local to Haven's End. He'd offered to help with local audio, recording ambient sound, cleaning up interviews. He was quiet, competent, professional, and maybe something more. There was a tension between them, unspoken potential. She called Ben, told him about the second tape. He came over immediately. They played it together. This time the voice was different, more layered, like multiple women speaking at once, all in perfect synchronization. You have a sound engineer, Naomi. Ben, he is protective of you. I can hear it in the way he processes your audio, the care he takes, the attention to detail. Does he know you hear it too? The connection, the possibility. Ben and Naomi looked at each other, uncomfortable. The voice was addressing them directly, personally, not performing, communicating. Be careful of connection in cursed places. Love that blooms here has roots in dark water, has price tags in blood and tears. Ask yourself, is what you feel real, or is it the story wrapping around you, becoming you, consuming you? The tape continued, more about the bride, her wedding day, the ritual, the drowning, but interwoven were observations about Naomi's work, about Ben's skill, about Haven's End itself, like the voice was present, watching, knowing things it shouldn't. When the tape ended, Ben was pale. Naomi, this is wrong. This isn't someone playing with you. This is someone watching you, knowing you. This is stalking. We should call the police. And say what someone's leaving me compelling audio for my podcast, they'll think I staged it. That it's a publicity stunt. Maybe it is, maybe you're being used, manipulated. Naomi, my equipment. The way the voice knew about it, about me. Someone's been in my studio, in my space. This isn't content, this is a threat. Or it's research, someone who's a fan, who's following the podcast closely, who wants to contribute. By violating your privacy, by stalking us, no. This stops now. No more tapes, no more episodes. We leave Haven's End. But Naomi couldn't. The story had its hooks in her. The audience was growing. This was her big break, her career-defining series. And yes, it was creepy, but it was also incredible. She just needed to be careful, professional, maintain boundaries. She played the second tape on the podcast, with warnings, explanations, acknowledgement that it was unsettling, but framed as a mystery, as part of the investigation. The audience loved it, ate it up. Theories flooded the comments. Everyone had ideas about who was behind it, what it meant, what would happen next. The third tape arrived during a recording session. Naomi was mid-sentence when she heard it. A soft tap on the window. She looked, saw nothing. But when she opened the door, there it was. Another cassette, another note. Episode 3, you're doing so well, Naomi. Your audience is growing, listening. They're part of this now too, part of my story, part of my return. Play this one live. Tonight, let them hear as you hear. No editing, no protection, just truth, raw, immediate. Can you do that? Are you brave enough? Ben grabbed the tape. No, absolutely not. This is escalating. Someone knows when you're recording, knows where you are, knows too much. We need to stop, need to get you somewhere safe. But Naomi was already considering it. A live recording, unprecedented for her podcast. It would be massive, and maybe it would flush out whoever was doing this. get them to reveal themselves. She went live that night. Thousands of listeners tuned in, real time. She explained the situation, the mysterious tapes, the escalation. Then, with Ben monitoring from his equipment, she played the third tape. The voice was different this time, not just female, multiple voices, a chorus, young and old, present and past, all speaking as one. Naomi, your audience is large now, 250,000 people, listening to my voice, carrying my words in their ears, in their minds. Do you understand what you've done? You've created a network, a web, and I am at the center. Every person listening, every subscriber, every share, they're all connected now, to me, through you. Ben muted the live stream. Cut the audio. Naomi, stop. This is mass suggestion, mass manipulation. We're spreading something, and I don't think it's just a story. But Naomi couldn't stop. She was transfixed. The voice continued on the tape, not being broadcast, but speaking directly to her. You've been having dreams, haven't you, of walking into the water, of descending, of breathing you. Underwater, of being with someone, of not being alone. Those aren't dreams, Naomi. Those are invitations. Those are me, calling, preparing, making ready. Naomi had been having those dreams, every night for a week, dreams where she walked into the ocean, where the water welcomed her, where she found something down there. Someone waiting, and in the dreams she was happy, content, complete. And Ben was always there too, in the dreams with her, equally willing, equally drawn. She looked at Ben, his expression confirmed it. He was having the same dreams, the exact same dreams. This isn't a podcast anymore, is it? This is something else, something we unleashed. The voice on the tape answered, as if it could hear them, as if the recording was live, bidirectional. I am not unleashed. I have always been here, in the water, in the story, in the curse. You simply gave me a new medium, a new way to speak, audio, waves, frequencies, vibrations that move through technology the way I move through water. You created a channel, and I am broadcasting. Naomi's live stream was still running, muted but active. Thousands of people waiting, watching the dead air, the silence. She unmuted. Spoke directly to her audience. Something is happening, something I don't fully understand. These tapes, this voice, it's not just content, it's not just a story. I think it's trying to use the podcast, use us, use you, the listeners, for something. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to find out, and I'm going to document it, because that's what I do. I tell stories, even dangerous ones, especially dangerous ones. Ben grabbed her arm. Naomi, no, you're going to get people hurt, get yourself hurt. This is bigger than a podcast, bigger than a story. Then what is it? The voice answered from the speakers, not the tape. The speakers, like it had crossed over, moved from recording to broadcast to real time. It is a wedding, a completion, a return. I was promised a husband, a partner, a equal, but I was betrayed, drowned, cursed, and I have waited for the right vessel, the right voice, the right one to call him to me. And you, Naomi, with your audience, your reach, your beautiful voice, you will call him, you will bring him. And together, you and he will help me complete what was started, the vows that were never finished, the marriage that was never consummated, the curse that was never fulfilled. Ben's computer screen flickered. Text appeared, writing itself, not him typing, something else. Benjamin Carter, sound engineer, protector, the one who listens, the one who cares. You are the one I've been calling, through Naomi, through her voice, through her story. You have been hearing me, dreaming me, wanting me. Even if you don't know it yet, even if you think what you feel is for her, it's not, it's for me. It's always been for me. Ben's face went white. This can't be real. Ghosts don't use computers, don't hijack podcasts. I am not a ghost, I am a signal, a pattern, a presence that has learned to use the medium you provide. Audio, digital, broadcast. I am in every episode Naomi recorded, every share, every download, every listener's ear, growing, spreading, becoming real. And now I am ready to claim what was promised, ready to complete my wedding. With you, Benjamin, you will be my husband, you will say the vows, and Naomi will witness, will broadcast, will share our union with everyone listening. Naomi killed the live stream, shut down her equipment, but the voice continued, from her phone, from Ben's computer, from the cassette player that shouldn't be running anymore, everywhere, inescapable. You cannot silence me now. I am in the network, in the broadcast, in the story you created. Every listener is a witness, every share is a vow, every download is consent. The wedding is happening right now, with thousands attending, participating, becoming part of the curse, part of the claim, part of me. Naomi grabbed Ben. We have to stop this. How do we stop this? Ben was thinking, working the problem. She's a signal, a broadcast, so we need a counter-broadcast, something that disrupts, overwrites, silences. What kind of counter-broadcast? Truth, real truth, not story, not legend, not performance. Actual, vulnerable human truth. She's feeding on narrative, on performance, on the aesthetic of the podcast. We break that. We get raw. We get real. We refuse to play the part she's written for us. Naomi understood. She opened a new recording. Raw, unedited, no music, no production, just her voice, immediate, honest, scared. My name is Naomi Cross. I make a podcast called Echoes, and I fucked up. I let a good story override good judgment. I played with something I didn't understand. I broadcast a voice that should have stayed silent, and now it's trying to write us into its narrative, trying to make us characters instead of people, trying to use my audience, my work, my voice to complete something terrible. Les? He paused, looked at Ben. Here's the truth. I'm attracted to Ben, have been since we met, but I've been too professional to say it, too focused on the work. And these dreams, these feelings of connection, I don't know how much is real and how much is her, the bride, the voice, using my desire to trap us both. Ben took over, speaking into the microphone. I feel the same about Naomi. And I've been having dreams where I'm happy to drown, happy to give up everything, to become part of something eternal, something perfect. But that's not me, that's not what I want. I want a messy, complicated, difficult human life. I want mistakes and arguments and imperfect connection, not some supernatural marriage broadcast to thousands of people. I refuse. I choose reality. I choose Naomi, real Naomi. Not some vessel for a curse, just the woman, flawed, present, real. The voice screamed, a sound that came from every speaker, every device, a rage that shook the cottage. No, you will not refuse. You will complete the vows. You will be mine. I have waited too long, sacrificed too much. You cannot choose each other. You must choose me. Naomi stood, faced her equipment, the technology that had given the bride voice, the medium that had been exploited. We choose each other, and we choose to stop broadcasting, to stop feeding you attention, to stop giving you a platform. I'm deleting the episodes, shutting down the podcast, cutting off your access to my audience. You don't get to use my work, my voice, my career to claim people, to trap them, to force your story on them. Ben was already working, deleting files, removing episodes from servers, shutting down the distribution, cutting off the signal. The voice shrieked, raged, begged, threatened, but it was getting weaker, fainter, as the connection was severed, as the broadcast was cut, as the audience was freed from listening. You will regret this. You will lose everything, your career, your recognition, your audience, all gone. For what? For him, for each other, for nothing. Naomi smiled, her voice steady, for everything, for choice, for reality, for love that isn't performed or broadcast or shared with thousands, just private, difficult, real. The voice faded, dissolved, became static, then silence. The cottage was quiet, just Naomi and Ben breathing, alive, freed. Ben looked at her. So, that happened. Your podcast is gone. Your career is probably destroyed. Because of me, because I wouldn't. Because we wouldn't together, and honestly I'm okay with it. The podcast was mine, but it was becoming something else. Something I couldn't control. Better to kill it than let it be used like that. What now? Naomi considered. Now, we figure out what's real between us. Without supernatural interference, without an audience, without performing, just us talking, learning each other, seeing if what we feel survives in the mundane, in the real. And if it doesn't, then at least we'll know, at least we chose it, for ourselves, not because some curse wrote our story. They left Haven's End the next day, together, not holding hands, not romantic, just two people who'd survived something impossible, who'd refused to be characters in someone else's narrative, who'd chosen messy reality over perfect fiction. Naomi never podcasted about Haven's End again, never spoke about what happened, didn't try to rebuild Echoes. Instead, she got a different job, freelance writing, boring, stable, real. Ben continued sound engineering, for clients who wanted normal work, normal projects, nothing supernatural, nothing cursed. And they dated slowly, carefully, with all the awkwardness and uncertainty that came with real connection. They argued, disappointed each other, had to learn communication, had to work at understanding, had to choose each other repeatedly, without magic, without destiny, just effort. It wasn't a story, it wasn't content, it wasn't something you could broadcast. It was just life, difficult, imperfect, gloriously, frustratingly real. And that was better than any podcast, better than any audience, better than any story. Because they'd learned the most important lesson. Some voices should never be amplified, some stories should never be told, and some loves are only real when they're private, when they're chosen quietly, when they exist outside of performance, outside of narrative, outside of anyone's expectations but your own. The sea remembers every broadcast, every voice, every story, but it can only reach us if we give it a channel, a platform, an audience. And the bravest thing we can do sometimes is cut the signal, end the broadcast, choose silence over story, choose privacy over performance, choose reality over the seductive pull of narrative. Because life isn't content, love isn't a story arc, and the truest things we have are the ones we never share, the ones we keep for ourselves, the ones that exist only in the quiet moments between two people. Plea, no audience, no broadcast, no echo. Just presence, just choice, just the difficult, beautiful work of being real. This has been Echoes of the Forgotten Bride, episode 15, Whispers in the Brine. Join us next time for episode 16, The Dunes Remember. Until then, remember that not everything needs to be shared. Some stories are dangerous, some voices should stay silent, and the most important love is the one that no one else ever hears about, the one that's just yours.
Shadows in the fog, they